Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 9th, 2024 License Commission. Secretary Pyer, has the meeting been posted?
It has. Commission Chair Howe.
Here.
Commissioner Krieger.
Here.
Commissioner Donahue.
Here.
Commissioner Mercier.
Here.
Commissioner Tang.
Here.
5 present, none absent. 0th is the acceptance of the April 25th, 2024 minutes.
Move approval.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
Application by Deborah Motu for a special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment for the Lowell Community Charter Public School Annual Block Party, to be held on Friday, June 7th, 2024, from noon to 8 p.m. at 206 Jackson Street.
Good evening. State your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Motu.
Please tell us about your event.
Our event is annual block party for our families of 815 students and staff.
Questions or comments from the board?
Move approval.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Krieger to approve, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Good luck at your event. Thank you.
Applications by Joel Mungin and Fiona Brennan for 6 special one-day licenses to sell, dispense malt beverages and wines for events that will be held at Mill Number 5, 250 Jackson Street. Thursday, May 16th, 2024, 4 to 9 p.m. for the Learners to Leaders event. Saturday, May 18th, 2024, noon to 11 p.m. for the farm market and an evening performance. Tuesday, May 21st, 2024, from 4 to 10 p.m. for a comedy showcase. Saturday, May 25th, 2024, from 6 to 11:30 p.m. for a concert. Friday, May 31st, 2024, from 6 to 11 p.m. for a concert. And Saturday, June 1st, 2024, from noon to 11 p.m. for the farm market and an evening performance. Joel and Fiona are both on Zoom.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Please state your names for the record.
Joel Muskin.
Fiona Brennan.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about these events?
Do you want to
Sure.
go?
Yeah, I'll go first. So on May 16th, the Lowell Community Charter Public School is having a benefit, their annual Learners to Leaders event. So that's a benefit that they do every year. So we're kind of just renting the space out to them and staffing the bar for them. On May 18th, we have another in our concert series. On the 21st, there's a comedy class being taught right now in the Boot Mills, and they're going to have their sort of class showcase in our venue. And on the 25th, we have another concert, and on the 31st, we have another concert, and then on June 1st, we have a Queer Makers Market happening in the morning and afternoon, and then a drag show at night.
So how many people are in the comedy class?
That's a good question. I think it's about 20 to 30, somewhere in that range.
Just curious, be interesting. Questions or comments from the board?
I'll move approval.
I just have one question. Sorry. Which floor are these going to be on?
These are all on the 5th floor.
All on the 5th floor. Okay, thank you very much. Second.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Mercier, seconded by Commissioner Donahue to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Good luck with your events.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Applications by Patrick Fitzgibbons, General Manager for Aramark at Songus Center, for 2 special one-day licenses to sell, dispense malt beverages and wines only for the following events on UMass Lowell's campus. Wednesday, May 15th, 2024, 3:30 to 6 p.m. for a College of Health and Sciences reception at Allen House, 2 Solomon Way, and Thursday, May 16th, 2024, from 4 to 5 p.m. for the PERC Symposium, Emerging Technology and Innovation Center, 40 University Ave.
Good evening. Please state your name.
Patrick Fitzgibbons.
Please tell us a little bit about the events.
So all three of these events are in line with commencement, which is fun. And then actually out of the three, the PERC event is involved with the engineering department. It's a new segment of the department that they're opening up. And the other two events are receptions, end of year activities, beer, wine, no more than 50 people.
Want to ask him?
Yeah.
Special, yeah. If I might, on our agenda, we have application to sell or dispense wine, malt beverages and wines for the following events, and I have only Wednesday, May 15th, College of Health and Science, and Thursday, May 16th, PERC Symposium. And you said this.
PERC. Okay.
Yep.
And then, actually, the one I'm talking about is happening right now that I applied for at the last hearing, and I think I got confused.
Oh,
I'm
and-
sorry.
and that was approved.
That's-
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
That's
Right,
6.
thank you.
Okay.
Sorry. It's Manning School.
makes-
My apologies.
No,
Thank you.
Yes, okay.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Krieger to approve, seconded by Commissioner Mercier. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
thank you.
Good luck with the commencement.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Applications by Amanda Itinge for 2 special one-day licenses to sell, dispense wines and malt beverages only at the Hellenic Center, 41 Broadway Street, for the following: Saturday, May 18th, 2024, from 6 to 1:30 a.m. for the Boston Veteran Soccer Gala, and Saturday, July 13th, 2024, from 6 to 1:30 a.m. for a graduation party. Amanda's joining us on Zoom. Amanda, I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Hi, this is Amanda Itinge.
There's Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you for being here. Please tell us about these events.
So the first event is happening next week, the 18th. It's a soccer come together, expecting about 200 people. And the one on July 13th is a graduation for twin sisters, also expecting about 200 people.
And the graduation party for the twin sisters, how old are the sisters? How old is the audience going to be?
Oh, they're 30.
30?
Yeah, they're both 30.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were teenagers. All right. Questions or
Oh,
comments from the
no.
board?
A motion to approve.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Mercier to approve, seconded by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. Thank you, Amanda. Good luck with the events.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Application by Derek Harden for a special one-day license to sell, dispense wines and malt beverages only for Benny's Backyard Barbecue Celebration and Benefit, to be held Saturday, May 18th, 2024, from 6 p.m. to midnight at UTEC, 35 Warren Street.
Good evening. Please state your name.
Derek Harden.
Bless you.
And please tell us about your event.
It is a fundraiser / benefit to welcome me to Lowell, because I picked up the old Marco's trailer and we opened a backyard barbecue business there.
Yeah.
So they're a big fundraiser to help me out, this and that and everything else.
Excellent. And how many people are you expecting?
About 150.
And how many bartenders? Have you held this license before?
No.
Are you aware of your responsibilities under the license?
Yes, UTEC told me everything because I also work for them.
Excellent. And how many bartenders?
There will be one, and then there's another backup one.
And is the bartender tip certified?
Yes, she is. They will not allow it if she wasn't.
Excellent. Questions or comments from the board?
Move approval.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Krieger to approve, seconded by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Derek, good luck with your event.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Application by Christine Pinheiro, sole proprietor of Trem Capera Restaurant Incorporated, for a common vittler license for 19 Hurd Street.
Good evening. Please state your name.
Christian Pinheiro.
Please tell us about the food you will be serving.
We will be serving Brazilian food. We have been open for 3 years. We opened during the pandemic. So we applying for the license only now because we didn't know before that we need that.
Understood. Questions or comments from the board?
I'll move approval.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Mercier, seconded by Commissioner Donahue to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Good luck.
Good luck and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Public hearing on the amended application by Sonesta International Hotels Corporation, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee, for a change of officers for premises at 30 Industrial Avenue East.
Is there anyone on
They're
Zoom?
joining us by Zoom.
Yes, hello, my name is Whitney Gillings.
Yes, thank you. Why don't you tell us about what's going on here, change of officers?
Yes, so actually this application was heard last fall, and it's just a simple routine change of corporate officers. However, we are still waiting for ABCC to approve the application. The commission sent it back because they wanted, John Murray had signed the application and they wanted a different officer to sign. So that's all that we're amending here is just a different officer. Vera Manukin has signed the application per ABCC's request.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? That's a public hearing.
Vote to approve. Sorry, my apologies.
Oh, it's not a public hearing?
It doesn't have to be a hearing. It
Okay.
can be just approved.
All right, motion on the floor by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You too, thanks.
Public hearing to amend an all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license for Fortune Restaurant Group doing business as Jade Lowell, 165 Thorndike Street. Amendments include change of officers, directors, and change of stock.
Good evening, please state your name.
Good evening, Kate Barnese with Smolak and Vaughn, 21 High Street, North Andover. Attorney for Fortune Restaurant Group. With me is Kenny Fu, licensed manager. This is just a request for a routine change of officers and directors, along with some tweaks to the stock ownership interest.
Excellent. I saw that there's no change in management.
No.
Manager of record. Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
So it's going to stay the same, basically. The people that are there are there.
Yeah, it's just the addition of one additional director.
Okay.
We'll have a 5% ownership
'Cause
interest.
The food is great.
The food is good. I was going to add that.
Yeah, and we don't want to, I don't want to see any changes.
Don't worry.
Very good. Okay.
All right, so we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? In favor? Hearing none. That portion of the public hearing is closed. We'll open up the public hearing for anyone who wants to speak in opposition. In opposition? Hearing none. That portion of the public meeting is closed. What is the wish of the body?
Move approval.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Krieger to approve, seconded by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Public hearing to amend an all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license for Pinella Restaurant Corporation, 55 Market Street. Amendments include change of officers, transfer of stock, and change of manager.
Good evening. Please state your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Attorney David Rapucci. I'm here on behalf of Pinella Restaurant Corporation.
Can you tell us a little bit about this change? Is there going to be a new manager?
Yes, this is a family-owned business. It's owned and run by a brother and a sister, Luz Viviana Duque and Juan Acevedo Zuliaga. Excuse my pronunciation. But they're the two owners, and Juan is the manager of the license. Viviana is buying out all of Juan's interest in the restaurant. So all of the offices, Juan's going to resign all of his positions, including as director. And if everything is approved, he also stepped down as manager of the license, and everything will now be assumed 100% by Viviana, who works at the restaurant now and is there about 60 hours a week.
I noticed that she was a chef at Burton's, and now she's the chef here.
That's right.
Does she also have experience with service of alcohol?
Well, she's been there at the restaurant since it's open, so I would assume I'd say yes.
And will she be getting a tip certified?
I'm sure they will.
That's one of our requests or requirements. I'll open up for the board to ask any questions.
I actually just have one question. Now, we're approving this subject to DOR, DUA
Huh? Sorry?
certification? Is that on the right one?
Yeah, you're the right one.
Yeah, I think you provided that to me recently, didn't you?
Was the paperwork provided for the Department of Revenue and the DUA?
And no, those haven't been obtained yet.
Okay.
They
So
have-
we would
My
approve it,
understanding is prior to submission to
Oh,
the
yes.
state that those will be obtained and
Okay.
filed.
so we would be approving it subject to
Right,
you supplying that information?
right.
Oh,
The ABCC would not take the application without it.
oh, okay.
So, I'm just, if I might, you're saying that we will not send it to Boston until Attorney Rapucci provides us with everything that is needed? Pay off the monies that are owed, I guess.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we'll open up the public hearing for anyone wishing to speak in favor. In favor? Hearing none, that portion of the public hearing is closed. We'll open the public hearing for anyone who wants to speak in opposition. In opposition? Hearing none, what is the wish of the body?
Move approval on the conditions that are outlined and we've discussed.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Donahue to approve with conditions. Seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. Thank you, council.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Public hearing to amend the premises for an all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license for Worthen House Cafe Incorporated, 141, 145, 147 Worthen Street.
Good evening. State your name, please.
Penny Hamorgas, owner-manager of Worthen House Cafe.
And could you please tell us what the amendment to the premises entails?
Yes, this is to amend the existing liquor license to be able to serve in the streetery for the season.
Excellent. Questions or comments from the board?
If I might. This is the same area it looks like in your plan that you've had last year.
Yes, during COVID, the same streetery, yep.
Yep, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I'd make a motion to approve.
That's a public hearing.
Yep.
We'll open up the public hearing for anyone that wishes to speak in favor. In favor, hearing none. That portion of the public hearing is closed. Open up the portion of the public hearing for anyone wishing to speak in opposition. In opposition, hearing none. That portion is closed. What is the wish of the body? We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Mercier, seconded by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Continuation of a violation hearing to determine whether MBOA Alliance LLC, doing business as Sahel Restaurant and Lounge, 135 Central Street, Peter Tamajong, licensed manager, all alcoholic beverages, restaurant licensee, has violated certain provisions of Massachusetts general laws and the alcoholic beverages regulations for licenses issued in the city of Lowell. Allegations that misconduct occurred March 16, 2024 were detailed in a complaint by Gregory Hooden, Superintendent of Police, dated March 19, 2024, regarding failure to comply with all laws and regulations, including legal hours of operation and manager's responsibilities.
My name is Peter Tamajon.
Thank you for being here. At this time, I'd like to ask Captain Peasley to read the complaint.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. The Lowell Police Department respectfully requests that enforcement action be taken against MBOA Alliance LLC, which does business as the Say Hill Restaurant and Lounge, located at 135 Central Street in Lowell, for the violations that took place during the early morning hours of March 16th, 2024, specifically violation of Section 2.01, which is the hours of operation, Section 2.14, which is the limitations on service, Section 1.06, compliance with all laws and regulations of the Commonwealth, Section 1.16, which states manager's responsibility. The facts are as follows, Madam Commissioner. On the early morning of March 16th, 2024, at approximately 2:12 a.m., Officer Kingan was patrolling the downtown area, monitoring the orderly dispersal of the bars and nightclub crowds in the area. Officer Kingan, who is here present tonight, observed the Say Hill Restaurant and Lounge to be still in operation after 2 a.m. The doors were still open, and he observed people inside. One patron was observed to be drinking from what appeared to be a glass bottle of beer. Officer Kingan then entered the establishment and noted the time to be 2:12 a.m. He confirmed that the male that he observed drinking was in fact drinking a Guinness Extra Stout beer. Officer Kingan also noted that there were approximately 6 to 8 other patrons in the bar area. This incident is a violation of the Section 2.01 referenced above, as well as Section 2.14. Officer Kingan then asked to speak with the manager, and the male approached and identified himself as Emil Kamadu Wendu, who stated to Officer Kingan that he was the manager of the club. When asked by Officer Kingan to explain why there were still patrons in the club and drinking alcohol after the legal hours of operation, Mr. Wendu gave conflicting statements. He initially told Officer Kingan that these people were employees of the club. He then changed his story and said that 2 of the people were waiting for to-go food orders. He then changed his story a third time and stated that some of the people in the club were waiting for a ride. I think at this point it's important to note that during a similar incident in October of 2023, Mr. Wendu again provided misleading statements to a uniformed Lowell police officer when the club was found to have patrons inside after 2 a.m. on that date. Officer Kingan then heard more voices coming from the basement bar and observed 4 more patrons in that area. 2 of these patrons were found to be disc jockeys, and the other 2 identified themselves as patrons of the club and not employees, as Mr. Wendu had stated. Mr. Wendu was clearly providing misleading statements to Officer Kingan to try to explain the fact that there were still patrons drinking inside his establishment after 2 a.m. Providing misleading statements to an agent of the License Commission is a violation of Mass General Law, Section 138(63)A, hindering or delaying an investigator. In addition to being a criminal offense, it is also a violation of Section 1.06, compliance with all laws and regulations referenced above. Officer Kingan then asked Mr. Wendu to show him the daily employee work list to try to distinguish between who in fact was an employee and who were the club patrons. Mr. Wendu could not provide this information as required. Failure to produce this schedule when requested to do so is a violation of Section 1.16 under management responsibilities, again referenced above. The Police Department would like the Commission to be aware that the Say Hill Lounge was brought in front of this board twice in the past year for very similar violations, once on February 26, 2023, and again on October 29, 2023. For the reasons stated above, we are respectfully requesting that the License Commission consider enforcement action against the Say Hill nightclub. And at this time, City Solicitor Mr. Wood would like to add something.
Thank you, Captain Peasley. Thank you, Madam Chair. The Lowell Police Department has requested, excuse me, let me turn on the mic. At the request of Captain Peasley and the Lowell Police Department, the Law Department would like to outline the critical details of the prior violations and hearings before Sahel. As the Commission is aware, and as Captain Peasley indicated, this is the 3rd time that Sahel is before the Commission for a violation hearing in less than 2 years. Of those 3 times, this is Sahel's 3rd time before the Commission on an allegation of a violation of the city's hours of operation regulations, and this is the 2nd time Sahel has been cited for hindering a License Commission investigation in violation of General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 63A. Sahel's first violation incident took place on February 26, 2023 at 2:15 a.m. Lowell PD officers observed a large crowd gathered at the front of Sahel and patrons exiting and re-entering the facility freely. Upon entering the lounge, officers observed approximately 20 to 30 patrons inside the first floor bar level. Officers observed even more patrons when they walked down to the basement bar. Eventually, officers observed one of the owners of the bar, Emil Kamadu, and the general manager, Jimmy Norville, and noticed that neither man was attempting to remove the crowd from the bar. When officers asked why Sahel's management were allowing the crowd to stay past the 2 a.m. curfew, Mr. Kamadu stated that Sahel had hired a DJ that night and that the crowd was much larger than anticipated. Mr. Commodore stated that his staff could not handle the crowd and did not know what he could do. A violation hearing was held about this incident on April 13, 2023. Then Chairman of the Commission, Mr. Dakota, and Commissioners Krieger and Chan were present. Quoting from the meeting minutes of that hearing, then Chairman Dakota stated the following to Sahel's management team. When we give these licenses out to applicants, it is with the understanding that the applicant has a full understanding of the Lowell license regulations. It's very important. And it seems as if the three of you didn't have a full comprehension of those rules at the time. He then added, you have to take some responsibility. It is incumbent upon you to take the responsibility that if you, the general manager, isn't doing his job, then you have to step in and make sure everything is being followed. Responding to then Chairman Dakota, Mr. Commodore stated, quote, I totally take full responsibility. Sahel's other manager, Dan Gibson, advised the commission that, quote, I reviewed all regulations with our staff and this will not happen again. The commission then voted to suspend Sahel's liquor license for 2 days, held in abeyance for 90 days. Sahel's second incident occurred 8 months later on Sunday, October 29, 2023 at 3:45 a.m. On that day, officers Poitras and Mon were dispatched to Sahel for a noise complaint. Upon arriving at Sahel, officers Poitras observed the first floor of the lounge was in darkness, but he could see individuals in the basement of the club and could hear music, laughter, and talking. When one of Sahel's other managers, Mr. Kamadev, walked to the basement stairs of the first floor, Officer Poitras asked Mr. Kamadev if there was anyone left in the bar. Manager Kamadev stated no. He then contradicted himself and stated he had employees in the bar counting money and closing. However, when Officer Poitras went to the basement, he saw approximately 25 people, saw the DJ still playing, and saw one of the bar staff appearing to take fresh drink orders. At one point during the incident, one of the servers approached Officer Poitras and asked to give the bar a break, this time because, quote, the staff didn't want to be mean and kick everyone out at 2 a.m. Based on these events, Lowell PD cited Sahel for the curfew violation and also for hindering an alcohol compliance investigation in violation of General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 63A, based upon Mr. Kamadev's affirmative misrepresentations to Officer Poitras. The Commission held a violation hearing concerning the second incident on November 30th, 2023. Present at this second hearing was then Chairman Dakota, Chairwoman Howe, Commissioner Howe at the time, and Commissioners Mercier and Krieger. I was also present as the legal advisor to the License Commission. And during this violation hearing, each commissioner expressed their views on Sahel violating the curfew requirement a second time. Then Chairman Dakota, quoting from the meeting minutes of Sahel's April 13th hearing, re-raised his statement to Sahel's management team about the importance of having a full comprehension of the rules and regulations. He added, quote, it just seems to me just a lack of, I hate to say it, respect, but it's a lack of respect to this commission that on April 13th you told this commission that this was never going to happen again, and it did. And I'm not sure you really understand how disrespectful this is to the commission that you're in front of us again. Commissioner Krieger, observing the importance of bartenders at closing time, telling customers, and in response, Mr. Tamajong said, quote, this will not happen again. And finally, Chairwoman Howe noted that although the other commissioners had expressed disappointment, she had a concern for safety of the bar being open at 3:45. Thereafter, the Commission voted to suspend the licensee's alcohol license for 2 days on December 28th and December 29, 2023. I'll add that following the Commission's vote to suspend Sahel for 2 days, when then Chairman Dakota told Mr. Tamajong that he hoped the Commission would not see Sahel again at another violation hearing, Mr. Tamajong responded, quote, I promise I will do everything to do that. With that, Madam Chair, I will yield to you. Thank you.
So, sir, you heard Captain Peasley describe the events of the hearing that we're here for tonight, not these prior hearings. I'm focusing on the hearing that we're here for tonight, the incident. Do you agree with everything that he said, or do you disagree with anything? And if you disagree, tell me what you disagree with.
It is true. When the commissioner came in, we had some patrons staying there. We were caught by the weather, and we did explain that to the commissioner, to the officer who came in. It was very cold outside, and we asked everybody downstairs to go upstairs and walk out. And they did all go upstairs, except the DJs and the family, who they packed their stuff when the event is finished. So they were sitting upstairs, and they were waiting for the Uber to come. And that's where the police came in. And we told them, this this customer they're waiting for the Uber is very cold outside, and we should have asked everybody to stay out when it's time, but it's just the fact that we saw them standing. It was very cold outside, and we just said, well, we'll wait for Uber to come. When Uber comes, you got to go. Unfortunately, when they stood there, some of them held their drinks in their hand, and the officer saw them with the drinks in their hands. But honestly, our goal, we stopped the music and everything by 1:15. With lights were on, we stopped everything, but just because of the cold weather. And I can say whatever the officer saw, it was what happened. But our intention was not to sell. We were not selling anymore. We were not doing any event anymore. Waiting just for the Uber, for those clients to come for them to go. It was very cold outside. We just felt it was just natural for them to wait inside for the Uber to come. That's what happened that day. Sometimes we have DJ coming from Worcester. They come with their family, with their girlfriend, and when it's time to go, they take time to pack, get stuff ready for the following week. We try not to be being active after hours. It's really not our goal. We don't serve after hours. And pushing that day, it was just because of the cold that we didn't really ask them to stand outside completely. That's what happened that day.
And you were there that evening?
I was there that day.
And so we've heard there were 2 prior incidents and with this issue, and some commissioners said this was disrespectful, they were disappointed, and I was more concerned with the issue of safety and the fact that police officers after 2 a.m. shouldn't be worried about bars remaining open. It's late enough to worry about 2 a.m. And what measures have you taken to make sure you stop serving alcohol at 1:30 a.m.? That's a regulation.
So what we did is after 1:15, we shut down our servers. We tell no more POS access. You don't serve anymore.
And that is from the date of this incident?
Yeah, after that day, because again, the key there is, we said when somebody buys the drink at 1:15, sometimes they take time to get finished, and it's sometimes difficult. So we said 1:15, if somebody comes and get 2-3 glasses of drinks, it's always a challenge to push them out. So we stopped serving drinks 1:15. That's the last time we take drink. And some of this, it's again, I'm gonna tell, there's a cultural barrier sometimes, and we're trying to educate our community as well, that we live somewhere, we have to change the way we behave. If you come to Sahel at midnight, it's empty because of our target clients are mostly Africans. They are so used to going to places late, and when it's time to go, you feel somebody comes at 12:30 and buys the 6 of them buy a bottle of drink. It's really tough to get them out. And I think what we also determined to do moving forward, maybe to get a police detail, not security people, because sometimes the security are compliant. Maybe get a police detail that we pay so that when they come in, people can okay, this is not us, it's the police. It's just a cultural education that we're trying to put to our people. That this is at 1:15, we're not going to give you anything to drink.
The cultural bias, I mean, in Europe, things go later. There's a lot of different cultures in Lowell, and everyone else seems to close at the proper time. So before the police officer is here, before calling him up, I would like to open the floor to other commissioners to ask the gentleman any questions.
I have no question.
I actually, if I could, Madam Chair, the solicitor.
Commissioner Murphy?
There's and I know this has been a continuous thing with this particular restaurant. At what point, though, and I'm still fairly new to the board, at what point do we revoke the license? Is that something we have to build up to, or?
Thank you, Commissioner Mercier. So generally, there has to be a lot more severe events than even I would submit this event where you have repeated violations. I've had an opportunity in the weeks leading up to this violation hearing to read a number of ABCC decisions related to violations of local hours of operation regulations, and I haven't found any where the ABCC has affirmed a complete revocation on that basis. I think the Commission would have two options available to it. The first is, of course, suspension. It can set a reasonable time period that it believes would be appropriate to set a deterrence to ensure that future violations do not reoccur. The second option that the Commission has is it can modify the hours of operation pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 12. And it gives the License Commission complete authority to modify a license for one establishment to, at the earliest, 11 o'clock at night. So the Commission could, if it were the will of the body, modify the hours of operation from closing time at 2 a.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. for a set period of time, like, say, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Thank you, Commissioner Mercier.
Commissioner Krieger?
Yeah. The cultural difference I get, but I mean, following the rules, if we were back in Timbuktu, we would follow the rules of Timbuktu, right?
I didn't understand that. So,
I mean, the idea of following the rules is kind of standard around the world, is it not?
It is, yes.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
I just have one more question for Mr. Hamilton. You said something about you'd entertain having a police detail there, hiring a police detail for the nights. And Cap Peasley, was that something? Would that be something the police department would be even interested in? Paying a detail?
Sure. Traditionally, we're having a hard time filling the bar details, but it certainly would be something we would attempt to try. We could always prioritize it. If the body sees fit to do that, we could make that a priority on our detail list on Friday and Saturday nights.
Okay, thank you.
And Officer Kingan, is he present? Yeah, I'd like to hear from him. I have a question. I have some questions.
Good evening.
Please state your name.
It's Officer Daniel Kingan of the Lowell Police Department.
On that night, what was your shift? Were you midnight to?
So I'm a member of the Neighborhood Response Unit, and we would normally work 4 p.m. to midnight, but it is a specialized unit, so its hours vary. And that was the weekend of St. Patrick's Day. So that particular evening, we were working later into the following morning.
Got it. And so you were there at 2:12, and was it your impression that if you had shown up at 3:12, the place would still be open?
Possibly. They're saying that, they don't serve alcohol after 1:30 a.m. and that they have been stopping service at 1:15, but at almost 2:15, I observed a male drinking from a bottle of beer, and I went and physically confirmed that it, wasn't a root beer or anything. It wasn't a soft drink. It was actually a beer. It was Guinness Extra Stout. I mean, how long does it take for someone to drink a beer? I mean, they're telling me that, he was still drinking that after almost an hour. So.
And the gentleman that you spoke to that night, Mr. Wendu, is he here?
No, just Mr. Tamajong,
Okay.
who was also present. But initially, when I asked who the manager was, Mr. Wendu identified himself as the manager. When I asked to see the liquor license displayed, he couldn't find it. I found it on the wall, and it listed Mr. Tamajong, who then came forward and stated that he's the manager of record on the liquor license, but they're co-owners and co-managers.
Thank you. Any other questions for the officer? Thank you. Oh. Two.
Earlier, Mr. Tamajong talked about the temperature outside. Would it surprise you to know that the temperature at the time of March 16, 2024 would have been a high of 55 and a low of 39 degrees?
No, I remember I wasn't wearing like a winter jacket or anything. It might have been a little cooler at night, but we were out in the downtown area throughout the evening, and the weather was fairly moderate for March.
Okay. And then concerning the, did you also request that Sahel produce surveillance footage?
I did.
And can you explain why and what happened?
Because that would be important. I know that they had security cameras because I've had incidents there in the past where we've helped utilize the security cameras for other purposes, but it would give an idea of, you know, if there was actually being service, or it would lend credibility to the story that I was given, that these people were mere employees and they weren't being served alcohol or anything like that. And when I asked about the cameras, I was told that they were not working. And I said, okay, well, can you show me in your office, where I had been before, your camera system? And when we went to the office, it was a computerized system with a monitor, and there were 4 active security cameras visible. And I said, okay, and I went in to try to play back that footage, and there was a password requirement. And this was when I was talking to Mr. Wendu, who had shown me the system, and I asked him, okay, you're the manager, what is the password to view your security cameras, which you said were not working, but here they are. And he said that he didn't know, even though that he was the manager. And I said, well, who does know? He said, I'm not sure, someone else runs the security cameras, but he could not provide a name.
Thank you, Officer Kingham.
Commissioner Krieger?
With regard to the temperature, based on a limited amount of experience in Alaska, most of the thermal injuries and deaths occur between 40 and 45 degrees, because before that people were very careful. It's just a dangerous period of time. So I'm a little sympathetic to the fact that it was cold, but the patrons should have made arrangements for dealing with that, just like the rest of us do.
Commissioner Donahue?
Mr. Solicitor, if I might go through the allegations, there's 4 of them, and I want to make sure that we have each of them. Hours of operation, I think it's pretty obvious, hours of operation. Limitation on service, no alcohol service 30 minutes prior to the licensed establishment. I assume that you're going by the officer seeing someone drinking when he entered the bar.
That, and also that the fact that tables are supposed to be cleared of all empty glasses and bottles, and they were not at the time.
Thank you. Compliance with all laws and regulations, I think that pretty self-explanatory. And the manager's responsibility. I'm concerned about the current list of employees wasn't readily available for inspection, and there were other difficulties within the restaurant itself that the officer noted in his report. So I think, from what I see, the allegations, each one of the allegations has been met by the police department. Thank you.
Well, we know that thank you, officer. I think everyone is all set with.
I have one last question for the officer.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Did you observe the bottle, the beer, is it half full?
It was partially full.
Partially.
It was not like an empty bottle with only a few drops remaining. It was something that was still partially full of alcoholic beverage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, officer. We know that this is the 3rd violation. The first time you came before the board, we had suspended for 2 days, held in abeyance. And the second time, I believe, suspended for 3 days, 2 to serve, and 1 held in abeyance. So is there any request? Does anyone have a motion?
I would make a motion. I think that the the police department has sustained their burden to show that there have been violations again. And this is the third time, and I think there should be something a little bit more than the last time. And I'm making a motion that we suspend the license for a period of 4 days, since it was 2 last time, now up to 4 days, to be served at the earliest convenience of the commission in compliance with the laws for notification of the bar owners.
Is there a second for that motion?
I think that.
Andrew?
Yes, I second.
Commissioner Tang, second?
Yeah.
All right. Discussion on the motion?
Yeah. I would be more geometric than linear on this. In the back of my mind, I've been thinking 10 days. It's probably too long, but I think 4 days doesn't send the seriousness of the message. So I'm open to amending the motion to 6 days.
Is there a second for that? No second. That amendment fails. More discussion on the original motion for a 4-day suspension to serve?
Yeah, I'd like to, is it possible or is it feasible, and I know you got the motion, I think, to add on, do the 4 days, but add on like 30 days cut back of hours to send the message, or is that too much?
My thought is that we inform Mr. Tamajong tonight, if whatever we vote for, the next step will be a cutback, a rollback in the hours. And this License Commission has authority to roll back to 11 p.m., so you would have to close at 11 p.m. We're not discussing that tonight unless Commissioner Mercier wants it on the table, but that would be the next thing that we would have to do. I'm against the rollback right now. I'm inclined to support the 4-day suspension.
Call the question.
Roll call on the motion?
Commissioner Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Krieger.
Yes.
Commissioner Donahue.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercier.
Yes.
Commissioner Tang.
Yes.
5 in favor, none opposed. Motion carries.
And do we need to pick the dates?
Yes.
Yes. How much time do you need to get a notification out with the right of appeal?
It should start at least 10 days from now.
10 days, okay. Tonight we are,
May 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Perfect.
Right.
That sounds good.
So
I'll make a motion to approve the days of the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th.
I'll second it.
License suspension.
Second.
second, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. Oh, Commissioner Krieger?
I was surprised you showed up without legal counsel. I would think, since we're suspending you for 4 days, that it might be worth consulting a lawyer with regard to your rights to appeal.
And if I might, I think at this time, you should be aware that I'm sure rolling back the hours for a period of time would be quite devastating to a business. So you've got to be careful of future violations. And I know the Lowell Police will be watching. Not that we want to do business harm, but if you're not obeying the rules and getting away with it, other bars might as well not close on time. If it's not fair to all the others that are complying with the rules. So I urge you to please come in compliance. We want good businesses attracted to the downtown. We do. But we have to abide by the laws of the City of Lowell and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda.
Let's see.
Are we taking 12 through 16?
I would like to make a motion, we bundle 12 through 17 and set a public hearing for May 23rd.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes.
Motion to adjourn?
You want to read? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 6 businesses amending their premises. All alcoholic beverages restaurant license to amend their premises to include outdoor seating under the new regulations. The first is G&AA LLC doing business as Fuse Bistro, 45 Palmer Street. The second is Candon Incorporated doing business as the Old Court Irish Pub and Restaurant on 29 Central Street. The third is Warp and Weft LLC, premises at 197 and 189 Market Street. And the last of those is Mariachi Foods Incorporated doing business as El Cuatro Mexican Grill, 124 Merrimack Street. After you approve that, we also have 2 other hearings to approve.
It's already been voted. Motion to approve has been voted.
And seconded by?
Commissioner Donahue?
Thank you. The additional non-premises hearing is a request for public hearing for an application by J. Shakti Retail LLC doing business as, I'm sorry, I had a correction on this. Give me just 1 second.
Where is he?
This, I believe, is Apple.
Okay.
Doing business as Discount Beer and Wine, Middle Patel, proposed license manager for transfer of wines and malt beverages package store license for premises at 220 Appleton Street. It is requested that legal notice be published in local newspaper and public hearing be held on May 23rd, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Motion to schedule public hearing for said date by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
And the last one is request for a hearing for an application by DCASSB Incorporated LLC, doing business as All-Star Lounge. David Cruz Cullen, proposed license manager for an all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license for premises at 160 Merrimack Street. It is requested that legal notice be published in the local newspaper and a hearing be held on May 23rd, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Motion for public hearing to schedule on said date by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. Motion to adjourn
Motion set for, no.
by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.